Hi, book lovers. Welcome to the YouTube library. We are street accredited and corporate certified. My name is MD Njiru, the artist. I don't want to claim that I'm as old as my grandma, though I have lived for 2 centuries. I mean, in 2 centuries. Also, if I happen to hang around for the next 78 years, I'll be among the few lucky people who have seen 3 centuries. This got me thinking, and it made me to start reflect. If I was to send books to my younger self, which books would they be? If I was to send books to my younger self, I would send these 3 books. The first book that I would send is 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. I will not even urge my younger self to read the whole book, but just the first law: never outshine the master. It takes me back when I was working as a loan officer in this financial institution. The branch manager did not have a loan portfolio. Instead, the whole branch portfolio belonged to him. So when he closed this big deal, he included the client under my loan portfolio. So I was excited that I have this big client and that my numbers have gone up. When it came for time for performance evaluation, I presented my performance, the numbers that I had brought, and also included this client as part of my performance. The regional manager was present in that particular meeting. He told me that I should not include that client as I had not contributed in any way in closing the deal. I argued that because because this client was in my portfolio, if unfortunately they happened to fall in arrears, it would affect my performance and my portfolio. So I deserve to take the credit for the client being in my portfolio. There was back and forth, back and forth. And the regional manager asked if I will share part of my salary with the branch manager. I decided to use humor to diffuse the tension. And I joked that I'll not be sufficient philanthropic enough to share part of my salary with the BM, the branch manager. This seemed to have offended the regional manager, my joke that is, and he responded that hapa tutaki kizungu mingi, all we want is numbers. I guess that day, not that I guess, that day was the beginning of my end in that company. Yeah, it took me time to heal. I think I've never really healed from losing that job. So if I was to send a book to my younger self, I would send 48 Laws of Power, and the takeaway would be the first law: never outshine your master. I learned that lesson the hard way, the hard way, the hard way. The second book that I would send to myself is Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goldman. And the reason is that my younger self, my emotions were more erratic. And that's why I would send that book. Also, through reading Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goldman, I've realized that in, intelligence quotient, IQ, what we call IQ, is overrated, is hyped, as much as it can be tested, unlike emotional intelligence, which can't be tested, yet it affects all areas of our lives. So that's another book that I would send to my younger self. The third book that I would send to my younger self is the book Fixed Mindset versus Growth Mindset by Dweck. I used to believe that abilities, skills, even intelligence are fixed. I used to believe that most of these things are cast in stone. But reading the book by Carol Dweck, Fixed Mindset versus Growth Mindset, I realized that everything can be worked on. Everything can be improved. In fact, when you believe things are fixed, you don't take time to perfect. You don't take time to practice. You don't take time to improve. So, in fact, I've come to realize that nothing is fixed. Nowadays, appearance can be improved. Everything, literally everything, can be improved. So, reading the book made me realize that you can practice and you can improve anything. There's nothing like natural ability. Yes, there's that natural ability factor, but everything can be improved. The book also made me appreciate more Mark Twain's quote that there is nothing training cannot do. It can turn bad morals into good ones. It can lift men into angelship. So those are the three books that I would send to my younger self. We would like to hear from you. Which are the three books that you'd send to your younger self? Kindly remember to like this video and to share. For those of you who have already subscribed, thank you very much. For those of you who are new to the YouTube library, kindly subscribe. Thank you.